everyone, and welcome back to another book review. Today I am going to be reviewing Volume 6 of Haikyu. So this is by Haruichi Furudate, and it is a volleyball sports manga. So if you have not listened to my reviews of volumes 1 through 5, you can find those on my channel. But today we are just going to be reviewing volume 6. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you kind of know what's happened in the first 5 volumes and kind of not spend too much time on that. So first off, I'm loving the series. This is my first time reading the series and I'm having a great time. I highly recommend it. It's something that I'm really enjoying. So let's dive into volume 6. Volume 6, the first half of volume 6 is the conclusion of the game against, I think it's Date Tech. I don't know how to pronounce it, D-A-T-E. I was just saying Date Tech in my head. And this was a game that began, if I remember correctly, in volume 5. Something to keep in mind is because I'm reading these so close together, sometimes I'm having trouble remembering which event happened in which volume. But another thing that's contributing to this problem is the fact that these volumes flow very closely to one another. For example, a game will not conclude at the end of one volume. You will have to wait for the next volume for the conclusion of the game. So in this volume, the first half was the conclusion of the Date technical game. This is a very difficult game, but they're learning to work together, and they do ultimately proceed through the Date Tech game. If you did not suspect that's coming, I'm sorry if I spoiled that for you, but you can kind of see it and how you can kind of see that coming throughout the volume 5, the 5th volume into this volume. You kind of knew they were going to beat this team, but they're having to work together and use their skills in ways that they haven't been able to put it all together before. So that's very interesting, and I enjoyed it. So we got the conclusion of that game. I wanted to point out here that the players on the other volleyball teams, the author could have been a little lazy here and just kind of made them standard characters, not a lot of personality, but the author really took the time to make the characters on these other volleyball teams feel like real individuals with real personalities. And as you go through the book, you're gonna see he puts these little, I don't know if I can find one really quickly, he puts these little character introductions between the chapters, and they kind of have a little short introduction. Here's one. To a character, they have some stats and some information like current worry and favorite food and birthday, height, weight, and how they're associated with the story. And so we're getting some of those for other characters on other teams or other coaches, and I really like that because it shows that the author's putting a lot of effort into making these other teams be real people instead of just like blocky people. I don't know how else to describe it. Just like someone, a pawn, an NPC there to just play the game and win or lose based on how the author wants the story to go. No, he's taking the time to really build these characters out, and you feel really connected, which I feel like makes the series much more better and have a little bit more depth, because these characters, while being on an opposing team that our team, Karasuno, is playing, our team, the main character's team is playing, by making them, they're on the screen for a long time. They're going to be on the screen, like the Date technical team has been on the screen at least since the 5th volume, continuously. So making them feel like real people with their own personalities really gives the series a lot of depth, and I really appreciate the author putting that work in. Additionally, I like the fact that he's including the coaches in these little things. He's starting to include coaches in this. I feel like it's making the coach people instead of just some faceless, nameless person wearing glasses screaming at the kids. It feels like it's someone else who's kind of committed or interested or at least invested in the outcome of the team, which I really liked. Volume 6 also begins the Blue Castle team. Now, Blue Castle is a name that's kind of a nickname for one of the other high schools, and Blue Castle is going to be very difficult. The team that we're following is playing in a single elimination tournament right now. It is the Inter-High qualifiers, I believe, so it's part of this like national high school volleyball tournament, and Hinata, which is our main character, really wants to go to nationals. He really wants to take his team to finals. He's been inspired for a long time, and this is finally a chance for his dream to come true. So he is invested, he is very motivated, and he is very emotionally involved in wanting his team to go to finals. But to do that, he is going to have to be Blue Castle. Not just him, but his team. They're starting to work as a team. And Blue Castle is going to be very difficult. They're known to be a good school. They have a lot of people cheering for them, and they're kind of, I don't want to say assumed to be the winners, but they're heavily favored. So volume 6 doesn't conclude the Blue Castle game, and I actually have not finished volume 7. So that's something that I feel like you should know if you are reading this series, is I really feel like volume 5 flows into 6. So if you get volume 5, please get volume 6 so you can read through that whole game. And then volume 6, I'm assuming the game concludes in volume 7. I could be wrong, but I'm reading volume 7 right now, or I started it right after, and the game just kind of continues. So these books, as I was saying, flow one right into the other, and the games don't stop right at the end of the volumes in the manga series. So make sure that you are getting all the ones that you're going to want to read through, just so you can read a whole game if you're like me and you get really stressed, and as you read them you get closer and closer to the cat's feeder went off, closer and closer to the book, because you're kind of antsy to see how things are. I feel like when I read sports manga, I get really stressed, and I just get closer and closer and closer until I'm like this with my little e-reader or my physical book, and then I need to like practice uncurling myself and being not so stressed because it's just a game in a book. So Blue Castle has a star setter, someone who has a lot of skill, and he's kind of going head to head with Kageyama. So Kageyama is Hinata's rival. I'm sure if you read volumes 1 through 5 or you listen to my reviews of 1 through 5, you're familiar with Kageyama. So this game against Blue Castle really feels like a setter versus setter. I did kind of see the change that was coming, or the change that was going to be made partway through the game. I kind of saw the way things were playing out in the game. I'll let you read the volume if you haven't read it at this point to figure out what that change is going to be, but I feel like it's a very interesting twist. I'm liking the way things are turning out, and I'm really interested to keep reading. Like I said, I actually started volume 7 because when I finished volume 6, I was too excited and too stressed and too face right in the book to wait, so I immediately got volume 7 out. I used the library app that my library has. I think it's called, or it is called Libby, so I can just get the ebook immediately right on my tablet, and I could start reading. So I did that because I just wanted to see how things are going to end. I was too stressed, and yeah, it just kind of feels like a setter battle, even though I think that is one of the names of one of the chapters, like setter battle or setter duel. So it's definitely pitting these two positions against one another, and Blue Castle is definitely a team that I'm like, I'm not sure if they can beat them. This is a very tough team, and it's going to be a very tough game. So we're going to see if Hinata and the Karasuno, his high school, makes it any further in this tournament, but it's been a great ride so far, and I am loving it. I do like that some stuff that's been going on between Kageyama and Hinata has been explained. It's really just a little detail that I liked because I hadn't picked up on it, so I'll let you read it and figure it out, and I am really excited to continue volume 7. I would give this a high 4-star. I'm loving this series. I feel like the series has a lot of momentum right now. It's really going strong. Like I was saying, 5 leads to 6, leads to 7, and who knows, maybe 7 leads to 8. I don't know how the momentum's going, but the momentum is strong right now, so I would recommend if you are reading this, you read 5, 6, and 7 kind of back to back, and maybe 8 I have to read to see if I need to read 8, but yeah, I am interested in seeing where this series goes. So if you like sports manga, if you like anything that I'm saying, if anything that I'm saying sounds interesting, yeah, I would, my thing's making noise, sorry. I would highly recommend this series. I think it's a great series. I think you would enjoy it, and yeah, hopefully I've given you a new suggestion for a book to read. If you enjoy it, if you have any books like this, if you have any thoughts or comments on the series, please let me know. I love to hear it. I like to read the comments. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.